if you want to wear a suit or just a coat, this is the time. Mascara. Elton, please confirm that we are live on YouTube. Elton. Elton, please confirm whether it's working so that we can start. I think we now have most full members present. So I'd like to give floor the Ike. Ike.
Okay, Purity, thank you very much. Good evening, everyone. We'll begin today, Ari, as usual, with our roll calls. So please, while calling the roll call, if you have any technical challenges, just indicate on the chat box. And not after we mention your name, after you start complaining that you don't hear us. If you don't hear us, just use the chat box to indicate immediately so we can maybe repeat the roll calls. Thank you. I will begin with AEP Mali.
AEP Mali present.
Alpha Togo.
Alpha Togo present.
Sifam Burkina Faso.
Sifam Burkina Faso present.
GPSC Ghana.
GPSC Ghana present.
KEFSA Kenya.
KEFSA Kenya present.
NAPS SL Sierra Leone.
NAPS SL Sierra Leone present.
PANS Nigeria.
PANS Nigeria present.
RPSC Rwanda.
RPSC Rwanda present.
SAF South Africa.
SAF South Africa present.
TAPSA Tanzania.
TAPSA Tanzania present.
OPSA Uganda.
OPSA Uganda present.
OPSA Uganda.
OPSA Uganda present.
ZPSA Zimbabwe. ZPSA Zimbabwe. ZPSA Zimbabwe. Okay, Purity, I don't know. Are we going to wait for ZPSA Zimbabwe to come on board?
Can anyone see Tapiwa or Nyasha in the participants list? Anyone, please?
Purity, neither Tapiwa nor Nyasha is here. He was here.
So they are not there?
Yeah.
Tapiwa was here a while ago.
Yeah, but he's not there.
So I don't know really what's happening to them. So I don't know whether it's network issues because he was here. So we'll give them 1 minute or 2 minutes. So if they're not in 2 minutes, we will have 11 full members present.
All right, thank you.
So 1 more minute. Ike, please move on and announce the number of full members we have in voting.
All right, thank you very much, Purity. With the last roll call, we have 11 full members present and voting. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Ike, for that. So we'll now resume the standing orders, but I need a full member to propose that. Any full member? UPSA Uganda, I need a full member to second. Stefan Burkina Faso, thank you. So all that are against the resumption of standing orders, all that are for, so someone please help me count. I don't know, Ezeude, are you here? Scrutinia, any volunteer? So is it 10? So someone has not, there's an association that has not voted, and we need to know who has not voted, because if they don't vote again, they lose voting rights. So please confirm again. And if you haven't voted and you're here, it can't be 12 because the PSA is not voting. So someone please confirm for me. 12? Okay, it's not possible to have 12. There's an association that voted twice. Can someone help me know who that or which association at PSA voted twice? So we have 11. So 11 falls, thank you. So we have resumed standing orders. And now, excuse me, and now, oh, you guys are not saying that you're not seeing me. So, so we have now resumed standing orders, and the next item is the election of the Regional Relations Officer, and we received 2 nominations. Just a minute, let me see the order. In the first round election, which is clear in the folders, Sam, are you now seeing me? So we received 2 nomination forms in the eligible for the first round election, and that is one from Adeola and the other one from Yao. So Adeola submitted her application first. Wait, Ike, who submitted the application first? Ike, I see 6:02 p.m. Is it 6:02 p.m. or 6:02 a.m.? Just a minute.
Okay,
Ike,
the time.
can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, Purity. What was your question?
I see you've written 6:02 p.m. Is it p.m. or a.m.? Adeola's application.
Okay, thank you very much. Adeola's application came in on 17th July, 2 minutes after 6. That is PM. +1.
p.m. So
Yeah.
Yao's application was fast. It came in at 1
17
p.m.
July, 1 p.m.
Am I right?
Yes, yeah.
Okay, so Yao will give his motivation first, followed by Adeola.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, and just a minute.
Okay.
You have three minutes to present the motivation. Go
Okay,
ahead.
sure. Sorry for the appearance. I had to rush from work to come and do this, but I'm Yasamam Fafo. I've been the CEO for GPSA Ghana for the past 2 mandates, and I've worked with the Regional Relations Committee for this mandate as well. My journey in IPSF started somewhere 4 years ago when I had a conversation with then chairperson Jacob Encho, and then eventually Isaac adopted me onto his committee, through which I would work my way up. I'm very dedicated to what I do, and I'm very result oriented, and I want to use the abilities that I have to serve the region if given the opportunity. As RRO, one of the main duties that we have is to ensure communication within the region, to ensure that the region is taken basically. So I plan then to have tailored CPs and SEOs meeting that is tailored specifically to AfRO to address certain issues that are specifically affecting our region. Since I feel sometimes the global ones are too general and they don't touch on certain points very well. I also plan to involve presidents a lot by having either biannual or quarterly meetings together with presidents, CPs, and SEOs so that the presidents are properly briefed and then they understand clearly what we have to do ahead. I also plan to strengthen the partnerships within FESPAL and then with FAMSA by collaborating more on projects, because that is one way we can all come together to enhance that partnership and then continue with the partnerships that have been initiated as well, like with that of Doses Blue and then the YCNTDs. On events promotion, so I plan on working very hard with the RMPU and then the RPU on IPSF campaigns especially. And annual events like the World Congress and then the AFPS, so that AfRO is always well represented. And I also plan to speak with the UNSA to try and get spots for the SDGU Summit, which is held every year, so that we can have AfRO members participating. With regards to growth and expansion of the region, this year I helped Eswatini, Guinea, and DRC in their membership application. So I plan to follow up with them very well now that they are full members, and so that they have a firm grounds. And then with that, we can now cast our net wider through the partnerships we have to get more associations in. I'm very dedicated and I'm well qualified. And as I always say to those close to me, I always say it's good to have a leader who knows the problem. It's better to have a leader who understands the problem, but it's always best to have a leader who has lived through the problem. And I believe I've lived through AfRO over the past 2-3 years and have worked my way up very much. I encourage you all to give me your vote and I will not disappoint you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Yao. So next we'll have Adeola.
Hello, everyone. Good evening. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
All right. Thank you very much. So I'm Adeola Bamishaye from PANS, Nigeria, and I'm applying to be the next Regional Relations Officer because with my years of experience with IPSF, I know that I have the competence required for the job. I'm currently a member of the external committee, and this is my second year serving in the external committee. In this position, I've learned about how to identify and approach new partners and sponsors. In this position, I've also represented IPSF externally at the FAMSA GA 2018. I'm a member of the Global Health Workforce Youth Hub. I've also represented IPSF at the IFMSA Innovate for AML competition in 2018. Also, I've conducted an IPSF information session in my school, and I have a contagious spirit for IPSF, which I believe will be useful when it comes to getting new members for the region. Also, I was the Assistant General Secretary for AFPS 2018, and in that position, I was responsible for maintaining a communication database amongst AFPS and the registered delegates from different member associations. I was also responsible for drafting letters to speakers as well as contributing to the overall success of the program. Also, I've been a member of the Constitutional Working Committee, where I learned about the official document as well as the internal runnings of IPSF. My plans for the position are to divide it into three major parts. Number one is to increase partnership and sponsorship, first by capitalizing on existing partnerships. For example, we have partnership with FAMSA, with FESPAL. We can partner with FAMSA to on a research-based collaboration, as we all know the importance of diversity in research. Also, I plan to reach out to new partners and sponsors. I have AmRef Africa in mind because of the fact that they work in Africa, both East Africa, Southern Africa, West Africa. Also, my second plan is to increase membership involvement and expansion through ensuring that we have more full members through conducting trainings for CPs and SCOs, where they are given step-by-step guide on how to carry out their duties, as well as soft skills training. I also plan to increase professional development by collaborating with the regional projects officer to develop projects that will be of use to our members, as well as promote internship with organizations, and also to increase training in the region. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you guys. You've actually used your time very well. So I'll now open the floor for discussion. The floor is now open for discussion, open discussion. So just a moment. So Ahmed, please go ahead. And yeah, please go ahead.
Yeah, thank you, Purity. Ahmed Fans Nigeria. Thank you, the both of you. And I want to congratulate you for the wonderful motivation you just gave. I have a question though, and my question is, I would like to know how you plan to implement your plans by working together with the rest of the RWG, and also what you have on mind that you think is completely new in the region and you think is going to bring development to the region. Thank you.
Okay, so you guys have 2 minutes to answer, and those are 2 questions. So I'll give you 2 minutes for each question. So you'll start with the first question, and Yao, you'll go first, followed by Adeola.
Okay, sure. Thank you very much. How to implement the plan? Of course, you have to have very good interpersonal relationship skills, especially with your RWG, because most of the time, I feel when it comes to things like events promotion and then promotion on campaigns, you really have to be involved with the RMPO and then the RPU specifically. But then I believe I have a very good relationship with a lot of people, and I plan to have a very good relationship with the CPs, SEOs, as well as the presidents, because they are the ones I'm working for and I'm working with. So of course, I have to be there for them, and then ensure communication is flowing through. For completely new ideas, one of the main new ideas I'm bringing on board is the Afro-tailored CPs and SEUs training. In my mandate when I was in the regional relations subcommittee, I liaised with the then RRO after looking through the SEP statistics, and then suggested to her that let's organize something for AfRO with SUs, where we spoke about more specific issues affecting the region. Because when you're in AfRO for a long time, you get to realize that most of the global trainings that we are having sometimes are too broad. And there are certain nitty-gritties that you need to touch on, and then it makes everyone's work easier. Because usually you notice when new CPs and SEUs come, they are struggling on their feet. They don't really know what to do because it's all new to them and all that. So once we have this, that's the first step. And it's a very good step because once you have SEUs and CPs who have their head in the game, then it's very easy to run the region then. Thank you.
Thank you, Adeola.
Thank you very much, Ahmed, for your question. So working with the regional working group, the first is to ensure that we come together as a team and build a workable plan that integrates a lot of our agenda. Okay, so I plan to work with the regional project officer to develop concept notes for partnerships, and definitely I would also work with the RMPO to ensure that the social media advocacy is done well. Our website is managed well, because when you have partners and sponsors looking at you, they go to your website to see how much information they can get. And one of the new ideas I'm bringing in, like I discussed with Ella before this RA, we talked about having an annual report that would also be published on the website, because people actually visit your website to see what you're doing. It will increase visibility, it will increase transparency. Also, I plan to bring in the idea of having internship with organization. I'm aware that the current RRO has worked with Lucid Blue Solutions to secure internship. I also plan to take that to the next level and involve AMREF Health, which has offices in different parts of Africa. And I believe that our members will be able to take advantage of this. I also plan to secure French partners, because the next AFPS is holding at Mali, and we definitely need to secure French partners as well as start building projects with them, so that when the AFPS comes, it will be easy to secure sponsorship. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So are you okay with now answering the second question, or would you guys want Ahmed to repeat? Yeah, Yao Adeola, did you note the second question?
Yeah, all my questions are answered.
I answered my second question here.
All my questions are answered. Yes, they both answered the two questions.
Oh, okay. So, yeah. Priscilla?
All right, thank you so much, Purity. So to our two candidates, I'd like to ask, yes, you've both stated a lot of ideas that you have on board. You've both stated ideas that you have on board, but I would like to know how are you going to incorporate your experience with IPSF? Because you can have a lot of things, but if you don't really have in-depth experience with IPSF, you wouldn't even know how to go about them. So I want to know, how are you going to incorporate your experience in IPSF to help you execute all these things that you want to bring on board? Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you. So I think Adeola is now starting, followed by Yao. But if I get it wrong, just feel free to correct me. So Adeola, are you meant to start now?
Yes. Thank you very much, Priscilla, for your question. So the Regional Relations Office, if you're dividing it into two, first you have communications internally as well as externally. Now the external communication has to do with both reaching out to new members as well as securing partnership and sponsorship. When it comes to internal relations, I've worked under this CWC, where I learned about the internal proceedings of IPSF, as well as being a part of AFPS. First, I was a member of the publicity committee before I was co-opted to the reception committee. And in this position, I had a case where I had to follow up on registered delegates that are not paid. So I know what it takes to follow up on maybe CPs, SEOs that are here to submit reports, and to ensure that everybody is on the same page. Then when it comes externally, I've worked with the external committee twice for 2 years. And I worked in this mandate, I worked together with the interprofessional coordinator in securing sponsorship for the World Congress with Synergy. And they were ready to sponsor 3 candidates to the World Congress. So I believe that I have what it takes to ensure that this job is done and that it's done well. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very
Yao.
much. Thank you very much. When it comes to the regional relations officer portfolio, of course, experience is very, very important because that's what you rely on to do your work. My experience as SEO, I've had a lot of experience as SEO for the past 2 years. I know the inside outs of SEP. I've won Best SEO for the year for AfRO last year, been nominated for Best SEO IPSF Global. This year, I was also nominated for Best SEO for AfRO. I've had a lot of experience when it comes to SEP. So for that, it's not much of a problem for me. How to tell or let SEOs come to know certain things that they can use to make their SEP better. I've worked on the strategic plan task force for this mandate in IPSF, where I was selected to join the team, where we're drawing the strategic plan for 2020 to 2023, where I was working with the IPSF Secretary General and then some other people. In this, I got to learn a lot about IPSF, the official documents, the plan IPSF has, and then how we envision to be in the next 2 years, the kind of things we want to go. So going through that has given me a lot of experience. I've been in the RRO subcommittee. So when it comes to how members should apply, as I said, I've helped countries like Eswatini, Guinea, DRC in their membership application. So that comes easy to me as well. And of course, I need to rely on my predecessors and the past RWG a lot because they have more on-hands and practical experience to help me go about my duties. And with sponsorships as well, I've had experience in GPSA with sponsorships. I've been able to secure some sponsorships for GPSA internally, where we even have some understandings with companies and even flight companies. That's what we use for our AFPS and to come for AFPS. That's why in Ghana, sometimes the delegates find it a bit cheaper to travel just because we have these links with people like the Ethiopian Airlines and all that. So all my past experiences in GPSA, in IPSF, and in AfRO, I think are very good and practical on hands to help CPs, SUs, and presidents to do their work very effectively. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So, Priscilla, I hope you're okay. Noah?
Noah Sese, Nafsese Sierra Leone. Thank you guys for your nomination and your motivations. You are awesome. And I think both of you are really, really good. My own question here goes to both of you. How do you intend on working with the incoming RPO to enhance participation from members of the region in global competitions? Because we all know we've had very less participation, not very less, but not good, that kind of participation from members within the region. So how do you intend on working with the RPO to get more members to participate in these global events? Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Noah. So remember, you have 2 minutes to answer. We are starting with Yao, followed by Adeola.
Okay, so when it comes to events, I think there's noise. Okay. When it comes to participation in projects, of course, you have to work with the RPO closely, and then you have to work with the RMPO as well, because Eventually, he's going to do it on the promotion side. The RPO is going to take care of the technicalities of the project, but then the regional relations officer is supposed to move the whole region along with the project. That's why, as I'm saying, it's very, very important that the CPs understand, the SEOs understand, the presidents understand, because it's not possible to go into all the 21 different countries in AfRO to go and make presentations and to make them understand. No matter how far and wide you share it, the information may not get to the people who actually need to participate if the CPs, if their SUs, if their presidents are not involved. That is what is very important. So we have to engage these people as well with advice from the RPU, RMPU, and find a way and innovative ways to push it and make it very creative so that the CPs, SUs, presidents understand themselves first, and then they are able to publish it to their members and encourage them to participate. Thank you.
Thank you, Adeola.
Thank you very much for your question. So when it comes to working with the regional project officer to ensure maximum participation, the first is to ensure that when designing programs, when designing projects, we get inputs from the CPs, from the SEOs, from the president to ensure that we're carrying everybody along. I believe that when people give input, they have a sense of ownership over the project. So it motivates them to be involved in it. Also, we'll ensure that our projects are carried out in both English and French to ensure that our French members as well are equally involved, and that the French CPs and SEOs that are involved in the planning also. I believe that this will foster participation. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I hope, Noah, you're comfortable with the answers. Next, we'll have Giotto. And always remember to say your name and followed by your association.
Chair, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Hello?
Yes.
Can you? Okay. I'm Giotto Samuel Kevsa. My question goes to both candidates. Regional officers, regional relations officer carry weight in the sense that they are the mouthpiece of IPSF when it comes to the various organizations, NGOs that are already at place. So my question is, what plans do they have as far as organizations such as WHO, AMREF, and any other organization that is international when they face them? Because at the local chapter level, I try to link up with WHO and even in the ministries of health in order to make partnerships and also to foster or to inculcate the culture of pharmaceutical practice to my citizens. So, for example, I have a project and I want to run as a local chapter. How are they going? How are you guys going to, to initiate such on my behalf, in the sense that when I go to WHO, already we have a platform with IPSF, so that they already recognize IPSF. And also when I go there as a local chapter, they'll already give me an upfront of saying that you as pharmacy students are going to participate in a particular event with or without even us, or even without me going to make a letter of inquiry. So what plans do you have? Number two is what other plans do you have for the countries that are not in IPSF? Because we need to move as a block. For me, it doesn't gain me when I see other countries not on board, because at the end of the day, it's a matter of culturing pharmacy in our continent. And we all know that we have the potential for the next,
Sam, please summarize. It's already 2 minutes now with your questions.
So, okay. So what plans do you have as far as other countries that are not in IPSF so that they can come on board. Back to you, Chair.
Okay, thank you. So now we have Adeola going first. Please feel free to answer one question at a time, but if you can do both, even better, in under 2 minutes.
All right, thank you very much for your question. So the first is how to ensure that international organizations like WHO, AmRef already know what we're doing. So it goes back to the idea I was bringing up initially, talk about sharing WHO is already a partner of IPSF. So when we start sharing our annual reports with them, giving them access to our annual report, as well as making it available on our website, I believe that will increase our visibility. Also, we show them the value we are bringing, our long-standing integrity and the body that we represent. IPSF is the global body for pharmacy students and recent graduates all over the world. I believe that it would also convince them. Also, we have to show them the impact that we've been able to make. And I know that will go a long way. For your second question, what plans do we have to integrate other countries that are not a part of IPSF? I understand you because I know the value that IPSF has added to me. And that is why I'm passionate about ensuring that as many people as possible, as many countries as possible are a part of IPSF. So first, I'll continue from where the current regional relations officer has stopped in terms of getting contacts from countries like Madagascar, Angola, Mozambique, and then I'll continue from there. I would also ensure that for the next mandate, I already have contacts to be passed down to the next person. Also, I would leverage the relationships that we have with FESPAO in reaching more French countries, as well as leverage the relationship that we have with FAMSA, the Medical Students Association in Africa, in reaching more countries, more associations. Thank you.
Thank you. Yao?
Okay, hello. So for the first question, when you're approaching organizations like that, kind of like the ones we already have on board, like WHO, AfRO, and then AmRef, most of the time correspondence is done over email. But why don't we then go ahead to exploit the countries that are on the ground? So that's when we know that WHO AfRO is headquartered in DRC. We can, because we have members there who are also part of IPSF, we can leverage on that, because sometimes correspondence over emails won't give you as much as if you are on the grounds there. So if we can show them what we are about, because usually when you're going for these kind of things with sponsorships and then negotiations, they're also looking at what you have to offer. So it's very important that we are very clear on the kind of things we have to offer, the kind of impacts that we are making, and then the kind of impacts that we want to make. And you also have to do your research and find out that your goals are in line with what they also want to do. So in doing that, then you can try and then make proper correspondence with them, and then try and get people who are on the ground to also try and follow up. I believe it will make things easier. And then in reaching other people, we can use the partnerships we have. We leverage on that FESPAO and then FAMSA, because usually traditionally we do it online. Sometimes we get the messages, then we follow through with it. But practically, these are some of the partnerships that we can easily leverage on to get more countries to us. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So, Gieto, are you comfortable with that? Just type yes if you are. So,
okay.
Musa?
Okay, thank you, Purity. Musa Fubana, AP Mali. First of all, I would like to congratulate both candidates to have applied for this position. And I would like to notice this position is a strategic position in the IPSF AfRO and generally. Throughout my 2-year experience in the regional relation officer, I've noticed certain problems which are partnership worry and also full membership problem, a member in association problem. Yeah, we have plenty of problems in the regional relation officer. But the main problem I've noticed is also how to motivate the CO and CP. Because some of the time you notice certain CP and SEO don't even check their mailbox to see if they have received a new message. So I would like to know, what is your plan for to motivate or to active more CP and SEO to check their mail and to be more responsive? Yeah, that is my question. Thank you.
Thank you. So now we'll have Yao going first, followed by Adeola.
Okay, thank you very much. In the years that I've worked with SEOs and CPs, sometimes you find that some are really struggling to keep up. So usually what I do is to get the message from the mail and then bring it to them on WhatsApp. Sometimes I broadcast it, sometimes you send them reminders to do so. I think all this boils down to a bit into the kind of trainings they receive in the beginning. So if we're able to hammer on that and then do that very well, it will be very easy for that. And I find one thing that is also very, very good to make people responsive is relationships. If you have very, very good relationships with them, you realize that even sometimes sometimes when you are even not aware, they even rather get things done and then they inform you and then all that. So it's building strong relationships with them and then constant reminders, because these things usually through the mails they find it difficult. So you either bring it to them on WhatsApp. This is why we need to utilize something like the CP buddy system, which we tried last year but then didn't work. I think we should work better on that, where we pair CPs with each other strategically, in that the very strong ones or very responsive ones with the ones that are not very responsive, so that they can encourage each other on the kind of projects they are doing and then the kind of information they are getting, so that we can all move together. Thank you.
Thank you, Adeola.
Thank you very much for that question. So the first is to ensure communication in terms of both email and the WhatsApp group. Also, you could also communicate with the president, right? The president of the association. That would be like an accountability system. Also, bring them to understand that yes, we understand that you're the CP, you're the SEO, but we know that's not all you're doing. So at the same time, you could delegate. If you know you're going to be busy, maybe it's exam time, you could delegate. You could have like somebody you train to be under you to help you. Also, the training at the start of the mandate, I plan to do a training step-by-step guide where, for example, maybe someone that's been the best CP twice in his previous mandate gets to train others on how it is done. So I believe that when you know what to do, that motivates you to actually do it well. Thank you.
Thank you. So we passed a motion that said we are only going to limit 5 questions to the candidate, and we are done with that. And since there's nothing else to be asked, we'll now proceed to close discussion. Yes. So we would like Adeola, Yao to leave, and any other person who's not willing to share their videos, and then everyone else who is willing to show their video during closed discussion, please stay. Regional working group, help me kick the people out who don't want to share their videos and they still haven't left. Please put them into the waiting room. And the ones that are staying, please start sharing your video and putting your hands where we can see them. So we'll end recording too.